nicely. It's the Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. Yeah, they clean up nicely. Yeah.
Yo.
Howdy. That's my new one for today.
I
Howdy. What's up? What's up? Shout out to all the punks checking in today. We appreciate everybody that's been listening. We just want to ask, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on the Apple Podcast, make sure you rate and review. If you're on Spotify, make sure you hit us with that auto download. Gonna be a heated battle today. We got LA versus Cincinnati, and you guys will see what I mean here in a few. And we're just gonna jump right into it. We're gonna start our introduction for today. Born and raised in LA, she's DJ'd for celebrities such as Beyonce, Jay-Z, Usher, Gwen Stefani, Miley Cyrus, Kobe Bryant, Ellen, and many, many more. She's a second-degree black belt and a world champion in jiu-jitsu. She's done tons of high-profile events such as EDC after parties, events with Craze, Z-Trip, Hugh Hefner, Faith Evans, just to name a few. She's worked with clients such as HBO, the NBA, the NFL, US Soccer, Disney, Nike, and many, many more. She's been killing it on Twitch, and she's a Twitch partner. She's also an avid gamer. Please help us welcome Miss Ninja.
Hey.
What's up, guys?
Hey. Can I get a hooday?
No, first of all, the only reason they're asking who day is because nobody knows who they are. So, go Los Angeles.
Here we go. Here we go. Speaking of that, you're DJing the Super Bowl.
I am. Oh my gosh. I was so
Yeah.
happy to finally got to drop that info last night, or was it this morning? It's been a blur.
No, that's awesome.
Congratulations. That's
Thank
huge.
you. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. I got to do it 2 years ago in Atlanta. Happy to be back again this year, repping my hometown, Los Angeles, California. My home, I'm born and raised here. So not only are we having the Super Bowl here, but the Rams made it. I mean, what a celebration it's going to be.
It's wild. It's like they said it's the first time. Well, last year was the first time that the home team was in the home stadium, and then it just happened again this year. So
crazy.
2 years in a row. Yeah, pretty wild.
It's huge. I'm an LA native as well, but I don't really watch football. I got to be honest. But I'm going to go for the home team. So go Rams.
I definitely get more into it when my home team is doing well.
Right.
It's been wild here. I mean, because we haven't won a playoff game since '91, and then obviously haven't been in the Super Bowl since '88. It's been wild. The one bar I play at it's on an area of town called the Banks, and it's between both the Cincinnati Reds Stadium and then the Cincinnati Bengals Stadium. So it's like a pretty little poppin' bar district, and every playoff game I've DJ'd down there, and it's just been pretty nuts. Like, I don't even know what to compare it to because I've never got to experience anything like that here in Cincinnati because we just don't win.
Well, until this year.
That's right. Until this year.
You guys did great. So it's just, I mean, this is just going to be the most amazing game. Everybody is just like on another level right now. I don't know if it's because everyone is like amped up because we were all in lockdown for a year and they have like pent up energy. I don't know what it is, but like this is like some of the best football I think anyone's seen in a very long time.
Do you have a ton of events leading up to the big day?
I do actually. I'm DJing at Super Bowl Experience. So I'm doing the autograph stage where all of the players come and sign autographs for fans for the whole like week leading up. So I get to like be up front and center with like the stars of both the teams. And I don't know, I'm geeking out.
That's awesome. Do you get to go into the game because you're DJing it? Do you get to watch it?
I have before. We'll see what happens this time.
Okay. That's cool. I was just going to say, because the halftime show this year too is just going to be insane with Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Kendrick. That's right.
The 13-year-old in me is like going bonkers.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I'm excited to watch. I was texting Drew, and my girlfriend and I were talking, and we were just out there, as you know. But I'm like, should we go? Like, should we just go, or like, what do we do? And then part of me is like, yeah, but I kind of want to be here if they were to win.
Yeah.
You know, like it's such a toss of emotions. Like, do we just go out there and be out there for the game, or
Well, you should have come out here because LA is gonna win. So
You came out and visited us when we were playing at Mama Lion.
yes, you guys killed it. That was so much fun.
Oh,
Thank
I was
you.
a little tipsy, but
I felt like I didn't get to talk to you much because I was in the zone, and Drew and I both were on. That was day 3 of playing together, so it was a lot of drinking, and my mind and brain was like, just get through tonight, just get through
it's
this.
probably best that this is now officially your first impression of me because I was pretty toasted.
Yeah, we were gonna ask, what was that shot that you brought us?
Soju. So I DJ at Mama Lion like almost every Saturday, and they know that I like soju, which is I think it's like Japanese or Korean vodka.
Okay.
Not 100% sure. All I know is they gave it to me once a long time ago. They realized I loved it, so now they like stock up on it for me.
That's so rad.
Had to share it with you guys.
No, I was like, I just remember doing a shot with her, and then what's funny is I woke up the next morning like, yeah, I really didn't drink that much, and then like a couple of donks there at Drew's house, my girlfriend, Donk's wife. I was like, I didn't drink that much, and they were like, well, I did a shot with you. Well, I did a shot with you, and then they were like, well, I did a shot with you, and I was like, oh, I guess I did drink more than I thought. And I was like, I remember doing a shot with Miss Ninja, but I have no idea what it was. All I remember is she poured it out of like this little tiny bottle into a shot glass.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was soju. Did you like it though? That's the question.
I don't even remember. I just remember it was like a little tiny glass. It kind of like reminded me of like the Sambuca or like something like that. Like
it
was
more. It's like I think it's a rice vodka, so it's very very clean. It's probably more like a sake meets vodka.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I was.
Sambuca is like very liquorishy.
Yeah,
So
that's
it
kind of
wasn't-
what I thought it was like thicker, but maybe I'm just again, it was the shots and everything else, and I'm not thinking straight. So
maybe that was like the amalgamation of all the drinks you had that night, left
yeah,
you feeling
totally,
like you're drinking Sambuca.
totally. But that's all I remember. So I can't say if I enjoyed it or not.
You did.
There we go.
Take note, you did. Just make sure you start drinking it now.
Just say you
Well, I know you don't have a ton of time, and we have a million questions for you. So, what we like to do to just kind of get everybody, warmed up is we do a quick little rapid fire questions. So you can one word if you want, or lately I feel like they turn into real discussions. So whatever you want.
We're gonna hit you with the our cheesy game show intro first, though. Here we go.
It's now time for rapid fire.
Wow.
All right.
That was amazing. Your intro to the show is amazing. That song, whoever
Thank
wrote
you.
that song.
So DJ Phrase from DMS, he wrote the whole thing and performed. That's him singing on it. And
Wow.
yeah, it's amazing.
Amazing.
All right. So the first thing on rapid fire was the last thing that you listened to on Spotify or Apple Music.
I can't remember the name of the track, but it was actually an Excision Datsik track that I used for a little behind the scenes video for my my studio unveil because I just redid the streaming studio.
Oh,
Can't remember the name of the track though.
Do you listen to a lot of music like when you're not DJing or streaming? Do you listen to music in your personal time?
Only when I'm looking for music for either gigs or a video or something like that, or for my streams. To be honest with you, I work so much, just like you guys, that in my free time, if I'm listening to music, it's work. Now, if I'm listening to music to not work, it's usually like Depeche Mode or Jamiroquai or Muse or like some of my like Tribe Called Quest, some of my like favorites that I probably don't spin a whole lot, but it's like what I love to listen to when I'm just like chilling out. But for the most part, if I'm chilling, I'm either like binge watching something on Netflix or I'm listening to audiobooks. When I drive, I like to listen to audiobooks because like I'm a little musiced out sometimes. What about you guys? Are you in the same boat or do you just like still
Same
love
boat.
listening? Same? Okay, Cool.
I listen to a ton of podcasts, or I just call friends, or I just throw on something old, like you said, something nostalgic that I just want to rock out to, and
Where you
then
know all the words and you can
Yeah.
sing at the top of your lungs. Yeah.
I'm in the same boat. I barely listen to any music, and if I do, it's like super chill and like stuff that I like, or that's pretty much it. If I'm driving, I listen to podcasts or stuff like that too.
Like, I feel like it sounds so bad saying that music feels like work, but I love, it's like we love our work. We love music, but if we're going to keep loving it, we need our space and time away from it.
Totally. Yesterday spent, I would say, the entire day going through music. So, I like it. I get my fill, and I re-edit it, and I do all this different stuff to make it unique. But I just need a break. My ears can only handle so much after a while.
Totally agree.
Totally. So, what would be your favorite remixer or producer? And you can name a couple if you just think of
Well,
someone. Off the top of your head.
nostalgically, one person that always, like, whenever they put out a remix, because they were always remixing Depeche Mode tracks, was Thin White Duke.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
nice.
Joey. So it's like I always looked forward to when a Thin White Duke edit was gonna drop, but that was like back in like '96. My favorite producer, gosh, that's a really tough question. I mean, I'm starting to produce right now, and I really love, like, there's record labels that I love, but I love like Dirty Bird and Night Bass. So like I love Tacky New Light, I love AC Slater. Like those are just some people that, like, in my production abilities, I would like to be able to emulate their sound a bit. So that's a really hard question.
Awesome. We always like to ask this question, and it always throws people off. What is the best non-curse word, one word insult?
One word?
One word. We've gotten clown. We've gotten, I can't remember now.
I like a lot of the things that like British people say. Like I like wanker.
There you go.
All
All
right,
right.
I'll take that.
Yes.
Make it, a little more multicultural, I guess.
There we go. What's a popular song that DJs would be playing in their set because it's popular, but you don't because it makes you cringe and you refuse to play?
Gosh, I know I have answers for this. There was one I finally cracked on this because someone requested it, and like everyone went nuts. So then I was like, okay, you know what? It was fun. But Mo Bamba, when that came out, I was like, cringe, cringe, cringe. And everyone would request it. And I'd be like, how about I play No Bamba? And I finally cracked after like 3 years of the song being out. I played it at Mama Lion, and they went crazy. And I don't even feel bad about it because they had so much fun.
No, that's cool. Is there a go-to food spot out in LA that you like to go to that you can't get anywhere else?
There's a spot around the corner. It's like a little Italian restaurant, and it's super authentic, called Pomodoro. And it's like walking distance from where I live. So I love that place. It's like the closest to like actual Italian pizza and pasta that you can probably get out here. I think I'm supposed to say In-N-Out because I'm in Los Angeles, but I'm going to go with that local spot, Pomodoro.
No, I like that. That's cool. Yes or no, if you've had to put your martial arts skills to the test in a real life situation?
I have, and I really don't want to talk about it.
That's all right. It was a yes or no question, and that's okay. All
It
right.
wasn't my fault, and I warned the person, and their ego got the best of them, and I had to handle it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it so much. All right. If you were at a karaoke bar, what would be your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, that's easy. Bohemian Rhapsody. And Whoop, There It Is.
Yes.
Those are my two karaoke songs.
The
I love
whole
those.
7 minutes of Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, yeah. High
I love
notes,
it.
low notes.
Oh my
tired.
God, that's amazing.
So good.
I want to ask you guys the same questions, but we're going to run out of time.
My karaoke song is always Weezer, Say It Ain't So.
That's a good one. I like it.
And because I don't do karaoke, usually tequila.
The shots of tequila or the song tequila?
Well, all the above. Technically, I'm usually taking one, and then the song tequila has, you just say tequila a couple
Yeah.
times, and then you're done.
No,
So
that's
it's great.
very meta. Drink it, sing it. It's all good.
Exactly. All the above.
That does kind of wrap up our rapid fire. So those are the ones to like, they're like our icebreakers just to try to loosen up a little bit. But it's also fun to get to know people. And Drew, do you want to get into Serato top 5 real quick?
Yeah, let's start with the Serato top 5. So we'll preface this with Miss Ninja actually is probably seeing this for the first time as well, because I think we threw her off a little bit telling her about doing this.
All right, I'm going to hit him with the Serato top 5 vid.
Serato Top 5.
I'm so confused by that video and its relevancy to what we're about to talk about.
That's the point. It's not relevant at all.
It's like, am I missing something? Okay, bad news, guys. I apparently did reset my play count not too long ago, so
That's
I
fine.
wish this was more reflective.
Even just give us, songs maybe you play a lot or something that is getting tons and tons of plays.
Well, I'll tell you what's in mine right now, but this is more just because of like the places, and I also like. I reset it when I moved computers, which was just a few months ago. But number 1 is Scratch Sentence from Shorty.
There we go.
I've been
I like it.
practicing my cuts.
Yeah.
Not to say that I'm very good, but I'm better than I was, and I think that's a win.
You're the
Practice
first
makes
person
perfect.
that's had a scratch sample in their top 5. So
Are you serious? Well, see, people
Yeah,
need to
there
put in
you go.
more work.
there you go.
Or maybe I just need the extra help. It's one or the other. Roses, the I'm a Beck remix by St. John. I probably said it's I'm a Beck, right? Oh, is
Yeah,
it?
I think so.
I think that's
I know
right.
what you're talking about at least. Yeah,
we know what you're talking about.
I'll play that one every
right
week.
on.
It's a jam.
Let's see. Thinking About You, the Smash the 2021 edit by Frank Ocean. So good.
Dope.
It's so good. If you haven't heard it, that's
I'm not
amazing.
familiar with it.
Girls in the Hood, Moomba remix, Megan Thee Stallion. I do love Megan. I love all the ladies. Best Friends, Sweetie and Doja Cat, because the women are killing it. And Up by Cardi B, because again, the women of hip hop are freaking killing it right now.
Yeah.
Those are all big. I think those
Oh
are
yeah.
all.
Those songs, when you play those at the club, like anything by those ladies, it's just on. Everyone's dancing.
It's the peak hour right now for sure. Those are the ones you got to drop peak hour.
Yeah, for
Totally.
sure.
I love the Girls in the Hood because it's a good excuse for me to play Boys in the Hood before playing it, and then it when the Girls in the Hood comes on, it pops, and it's great. I like that song.
Totally agree. You got to do it. You got to do the little mini mashup live.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's our Serato top 5. So
Any honorable mentions? Anything you want to throw in?
Return of the Mac. I
All right.
actually play that a lot because I like to mix it with fantasy because they just sound good. And for some reason, everyone still goes nuts when they hear those 2 songs. Blow the Whistle, Too Short. That's up in there. This Is How We Do It. Montel Jordan. Trying to see if there's anything in here that's like super interesting.
Maybe anything from Twitch. I know you're obsessed with your Depeche Mode.
I mean, everything Depeche Mode. My favorite Depeche Mode song is Enjoy the Silence. So, that we'll get that answered right off the bat. But I do play a lot of EDM and like, of course, Do It To It by A Craze. I play that like almost every single set, no matter where I go. And especially that Zed remix where it's mixed with Squid Game. Oh my God. I'm still obsessed with that. And then there's a track that I play a lot, Shake by Anti Up. Track just goes hard. Love that one.
Do you find yourself, now that we're kind of like back in and working and in real life gigs, do you find yourself you're still on Twitch, do you find you're using Twitch to play more stuff that you wouldn't get to play out live in the clubs, or are you still feel like you're doing like what you're playing out in the bars and clubs is what you're doing on Twitch? I guess tell us a little bit about your thought process, like what you're playing.
I would say that I am playing more things at the bars and clubs that I play on Twitch these days. Like I really hope that what's happened because of Twitch is that people's minds have been open to new music. I feel like for a really long time, especially in Los Angeles, no hate to Los Angeles. I was, again, born and raised here, but I feel like people like to listen to what they know. And if it's something they're unfamiliar with, they'll reject it sometimes. And I think because of Twitch, it's given viewers, obviously, I've seen how open-minded the viewers are. It's given me more courage to play a lot of things in the club that I might have not played before. And I really hope that's what it's done for the DJ community. Because everyone's DJ sets, like there's all, everybody has like the top 40 list, right? So what is it that's going to make your set more interesting? You have to take those risks. And I kind of really hope that that's what's come out of Twitch is people are getting a little more riskier about what they'll drop in the club these days.
One thing that we always talk about is nobody ever remembers, the 4-hour set that you play, but they'll remember the 1 or 2 tracks that you played that was different from the rest of the night.
Absolutely agree. You got to like give them those wow moments, those unexpected, nostalgia bombs, or a track that they like. What I like to do is get people to trust me during the beginning of my set And then I feel like once you have their trust, you can take them where you want to take them. So I like to get them like prime with some stuff that I know they're going to like, and then drop something that they probably never heard like into that part of the set, so that they're like, now instead of saying, oh, can you play this song, they're saying, oh, what is this song? That's like the biggest compliment I think I can get as a DJ, is when people are not asking me for a song, but they're asking me what I'm playing.
I love that. I don't hear that very often. That's a great analogy. I love that a lot. So I know you play all different styles. You're doing a lot of hip hop. You know, Mama Lion's a very hip hop, but you also do like a day spot, and you're doing some house and other stuff. What do you like playing, and what are just the varieties that you bring from Twitch into these new spots?
I just love music. That's why I got into DJing. I love all kinds of music. And, I feel like it's kind of hard as a DJ when you say you're open format. I think people want to have a more like pigeonholed idea of what a DJ is going to play when they come out. But I really am an open format DJ. Like, I started messing around with DJing back in like 93 or 95, somewhere around there. And it was all like classic hip hop, because that's all my friends had on vinyl at that time. It was all like De La Soul or like Outkast or Brand Nubian or whatever, So that's kind of what I started with. And then like, 80s new wave became like my love, because I kind of had an angsty childhood, and I felt like people didn't understand me. And 80s new wave seemed to really understand what I was going through. So I got really, really into that. So that's why it's got a very special place in my heart. I love spinning 80s. There's just like this romance and love in it, compared to like, don't get me wrong, I love hip hop, especially like classic hip hop, because they were telling stories and they were like fun stories. And now it's a lot about just like, I feel like it's about like objectifying women and, like drugs and this and that, which is not really something like I stand for. But damn, the bass lines on some of those tracks are so good that like you still want to spin them, even though like you might not agree with what they're saying in the songs. But
I think I hear the music always first, and then the beat or whatever they're saying comes second, but music's always first. So I totally relate to that. It's like, oh, this beat's amazing, and then afterwards I'm going back, I'm going, oh, this is not good.
yeah, well, I mean, I used to write like poetry and songs, so for me lyrics always come first. So
Okay.
one song, for example, that I love to play, and I'm like, I should hate this song, but I love this song. And the video is just because the video is so good. It's I Love It by Kanye and Lil Pump.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, I should hate that song.
Well,
So much I should hate that song. But it's so much fun. And the video is just like one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It's so simple, but so funny.
totally.
That I don't know. It's like I'm so conflicted about that track, but that's what I'm saying. Is like when you listen to 80s new wave, they're talking about love in like a very profound way, and life, and like social issues in the most like poetic way. So I have a very, very deep love for 80s, and especially 80s new wave.
Well, I'm curious what bridged you into doing more 80s new wave. What was like the first band or first song, or what kind of got you thinking? I mean, from hip hop to that is a big jump.
Yeah, well, it's actually not that big a jump, because it was kind of around the same era that I was falling in love with all this music. I would say the first two groups that really made me fall hard for music, where I was like, I need to be involved with music like every day of my life, was Depeche Mode and Tribe Called Quest. So those are like the two like fundamental music groups that have like shaped my passion and my love for music. So when I started DJing, it wasn't like because like I wanted to like be on a stage and like have people watch me do something. It was really because I just wanted to have my hands as deep into the music as I could get them. And it just started really, really deep with like I said, 80s and 90s. And from there, I got really into like breakbeat and into drum and bass for a while, and trance. Like I used to go, like if Christopher Lawrence was performing, I was following him wherever he was performing around LA. So my music tastes just really are all over the board, because
I love Christopher Lawrence, that old like 2000s era, or like late 90s 2000s era Christopher Lawrence, or
late
Paul
90s and early
Oakenfold.
2000s. Trance was just on fire.
I like a lot of 80s stuff too. I think I like it for a different reason, but I think that's what's kind of cool about music and any kind of art is everybody can find their own appreciation. My appreciation for it is like it's so futuristic compared to the decades before, but now listening to it, you're like, wow, this wasn't really futuristic at all. I love just all the new wave stuff I just love it all. And every time it just kind of makes me laugh at the same time when I watch the old videos and like, I don't know, it's like all analog though too. And that sound I feel like is still something that
warmth.
Yeah. And it's almost like it's that late 70s, early 80s is like kind of back, I feel like, in a lot of new pop songs with the like Dua Lipa. A lot of her songs are like that disco, and
no,
I love it all too.
I mean, where would EDM be without Kraftwerk? Like
Totally.
There's so many roots in like 80s and sampling of sounds that have made their way through like all the music that we listen to now. They were so experimental with sampling of like random noises and putting them into like, into their synths and creating music out of them. And, it's just, I think everything builds on each other. I think that's why it's hard for me to like say there's a genre that I like the most, because I feel like if you really look at music, you can watch each genre evolve into the others that come after it. You know what I mean? So I guess I just have a love for music in general. I don't know how else.
I was gonna say you're a real just DJ. I think everyone here, I like anything. Everything goes for me. So I don't have one specific genre that I lean towards. It's all good. And that I was gonna reference that Kraftwerk that you brought up. There's a website where you can see all the samples from each song. It'll list the song and it goes through all the samples. No, there's a website dedicated to just Kraftwerk, and it'll show the song and it'll have it on a linear base, and it highlights it. I have to dig it up somewhere. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's interesting.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
I was gonna say, so how did you get started DJing? Your friends had turntables, and you just kind of jumped on. And at what point do you end up buying your own? And how does that evolve?
Yeah, I mean, how much time do you have? So I'll give you like the shortest version of this story possible. It was a windy road. When I was younger, like I had guy friends that would bring out their turntables. Like they'd have parties at like their little rec rooms at their apartment complexes. The girls would all want to like sit and talk about the boys. And I was just like, I'm not interested in this conversation at all. So I was always hanging out with the guys, and playing with whatever they were bringing out, whatever, records they had, or, their whatever. So I remember when I got my first purse, it was like this blue denim bag. And instead of like keeping makeup or anything like that in it, like a lot of my girlfriends at the time did, it was just full of cassettes and cassette singles and my Walkman, because I just couldn't be away from the music. And I was like I was spending more time poorly memorizing, because we didn't have like websites to tell you the words to these songs. I had to make up my own idea of like what the words were with my innocent brain. So most of the words I still rap along to these songs are totally wrong. But I would spend most of my time memorizing 90s hip hop lyrics instead of like studying for like my geography exam. So I probably still don't know where like Idaho is on a map, but I can bust out, like Baby Got Back. No problem. So that's the beginning. After that, like I got into martial arts. That's why my name is DJ Miss Ninja. And then everything else kind of like went on the side. Yeah. Still love music. I was kind of like making mixes. I remember when I made my first mixtape, actually, it was with a boombox. I realized that if like you rewound the cassette like with your finger just a little bit over the first track, or whatever the first track was that you played, or whatever the track you were mixing out of was, if you rewound it just a little bit and then you press the record button down halfway, it would like create a blend. So I was like making like mixtapes with my little boombox by just like using that technique. That must have been when I was around like 13.
Do you have any of those?
I think I do actually at my parents' house. I have to go dig for those.
Okay.
They got to be somewhere. And then the martial arts thing kicked off. I fought in the world championships in 98. I got a gold and a silver in 2 different divisions. Then I decided to like leave martial arts because I'd been doing it for like 8 years and I needed, like now I had to like earn a living. I graduated college. I went and got my business degree and I got my first like adult job. And that's like when I took this left turn where my soul just died. I was managing a bank and it was great at first. It was like so nice to like earn like real money and get my own place. But eventually my body was just like rejecting that lifestyle to the point where I was getting really ill. And
it's awful.
finally, after like 5 or 6 years, I had to quit that job. I went back to school for graphic and web design, got back into like meditation and yoga and like brought my spirit back. And then I finally like was able to buy my own turntables. This was probably like 15 years ago. At that point, I think for 5 years, I had an ex-boyfriend's turntables at my house.
Okay. So you're still DJing on the side through this whole thing or just maybe every now and then?
Yeah, just a little bit here and there, just for myself in my bedroom. I was a bedroom DJ. I was using like programs like Cakewalk and things like that to actually make mix CDs. At that point, back when like I was using, what was it, Napster or whatever, where it took me like 24 hours to download a song. I would spend 20 days straight downloading the 20 songs I wanted to put in my mix. And
dial up.
Yeah. And then, but take it into Cakewalk and like make my mix. And I was working at a record store at that point at Warehouse Records, and they would like play my mixes on the loudspeaker at Warehouse Records. So like anyone that's coming in to buy music was listening to my mixes.
That's so dope.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's cool that they let you do that. Did you have to make sure they were clean versions or?
Not really, because what we would do was just take CDs from the used bin and like play them. We just put them on, and a lot of times they would actually let me borrow the CDs and rip them at home, and then I could put those in my mixes. So that went on for a while in my early college days. But then fast forward to going back to school for graphic and web design, I graduated. I got my dream job at iHeartRadio in Los Angeles, and I became like the head graphic designer for Fox Sports Radio and what was it? It was Alt 98.7. And then I was also doing design for like Kiss FM and all those stations. And that's kind of when I started learning about Serato. And it was super easy to like actually just like record a mix on the fly. Because before that, like you have to have plugins and things like that when you were on vinyl. It was a lot harder to like record a mix when you were just analog on vinyl. When everything went digital, it got a lot easier for me to like actually record mixes. So I started recording mixes just to listen to while I was designing at the station. My coworkers, because there's only like 4 of us designers working there, they started asking for my mixes so they could listen to them while they were designing. Little did I know, somehow my mixes made their way up to like the heads of Kiss FM. And then I was DJing like events for Kiss FM. My name was on the radio. And that was like the birth of my actual unintended DJ career back in like, what was that, 2008 or something?
So they just plucked you from designing. What are you designing anyways? Or
I was designing the website, the billboards, the car wraps, like every piece of, like anything branded for the stations, I was designing it. So you probably like driving down the 405 in LA, you probably saw one of my billboards. If you ever saw any of the vehicles, like that was me doing the wrap. If you ever logged onto a radio station website back in 2008 to 2011 or so, I designed those.
Yeah.
So that was pretty wild too.
So they just pluck you out from that and then say, "Oh, you're DJing now," or you had to do both jobs and you're just doing that.
I was doing both.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was doing both. So that was the crossroads I came to where they eventually, like, my schedule used to be like 9 to 5, and then they needed someone to like cover Ryan Seacrest's show to do like a lot of the live updates on the site, and he was on early mornings, so 6 a.m. to whatever. So they changed my hours to 6 a.m. to 3 a.m., which I'm not I'm a DJ. We're like vampires. So that was just not going to work for me. So I was like at the office, like 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. I would go home, take a nap, and then DJ from like 9 p.m. to like 1 a.m. for peanuts because I was just getting started, So like I wasn't even making that much, but I told myself, I'm like, as soon as it gets to the point where my DJ money was enough to like support me, even like baseline to where I could consider quitting my day job, I was going to quit my day job. And that took about a year of really like becoming, what was it? I think I learned the term polyphasic sleeper, where I would like get 3 hours of sleep here, 3 hours of sleep there.
I think
And
I still do that in life.
yeah, there are definitely days where we're still, oh my gosh. And then from there, like I'd say the first 7 years was me really like trying to find my way into this, into the, just like I was just, my philosophy has always been, keep your head down, do a good job, and things will grow from there. Stay passionate. As long as you come from a place of like genuine like passion and creativity, I think it's with the alchemist. Everything in the universe will conspire to help you. Things like that started happening, and I was broke for like the first 7 years. Just like basically just like paying my rent, eating food, and that was all I could afford. And there were a lot of times I wanted to turn back and just stop and be like, maybe this is just not, like this is hard. It's not. So many people think it's just so easy. You just go play music somewhere.
No,
That's
it is
not
not.
it. There's a whole business side to this, and then
So,
logistics, marketing. Like there's so much to it.
but that's actually pretty awesome for you. Were you still getting work through the radio station, or you're completely on your own?
I had gone completely on my own.
But it's awesome because I mean, having that marketing degree, as a DJ, you still have to be able to do maybe not that early stages, but you have to do your own flyers. You have to be able to promote yourself and really push all these things out there.
I
Yeah.
think having a business mind, it makes you easier to work with, and people know they can trust you. And I think part of the reason I've been successful is because people know that if I sign on to something, I'm going to deliver, and it's going to be on time. It's going to be quality. They can trust that it's not just like, I'm not just like some, like that I'm very grounded and I'm a professional. Bringing that professionalism to it, I think is such an underrated piece of the puzzle when it comes to being a successful DJ. Like I know so many DJs that are so good at what they do, but they don't have like that professionalism to them, and then they're hard to work with, and then people just don't want to work with them.
Follow
So
through, being on time, answering emails, just as basic shit, right?
yeah, there are times where I'll go like 4 days without being able to return emails because I'm running around. But for the most part, I try to stay on top of that
course.
and respect like my clients' time.
I think it's one of those things, with DJing and owning your own business. There are days where there's not enough time in the day. And then there's days where you're like, okay, now I can sit here and answer all these emails and answer everybody. For me, it's just been so crazy lately. And I know for Drew as well. And it's like every day we pack it full of stuff, and it's like, all right, I got all this done. And it's like, I have a little bit of breathing room until just the next day when it starts all over again or whatever. So it's hard to balance, being good at the business and being a good DJ and being good at marketing and being all those things. But I think it's safe to say that you do all those things very well, and that's what makes a really good professional DJ these days. Is you kind of have to do those all, and you have to be able to shift and pivot in this industry and take kind of what comes with it. And I think that you've done a good job with that.
Thank you. Well, it's an honor to just be talking to the two of you, who I would have never thought like, a few years ago that you would even know who I was. And here we are now just getting to know each other better, through this new thing that you guys have created. It just, I don't know. I just love being around people that are passionate about what they do and are always like pushing things forward, and to be a part of that. I don't know. It's just a major honor, just even to just like be here having this conversation right now.
Well, I agree, and we're grateful for having you on. But I want to get to how I first came across you. It was through Twitch. I don't want to gloss over the fact. So that's 7 years. You're struggling. What gives you your break, or how do you get past that, and then leading us up to the big meltdown of 2020?
I don't know what gave me like what made things like actually start popping off, but what I would say is 7 years, just whether there was one person in the room or 1,000, just giving it everything that I had, forming honest, genuine relationships with people. When people that I worked with that worked at small companies left their small company and went to a bigger company, they would bring me along. So everybody just evolved together for 7 years. I guess you could say. I've never been about networking. I really actually hate networking. It's not in my personality type. There's something about going out to meet people with the intent of getting something from them that I just find very disingenuous for myself. So I could just never do that. But
I think
when
that's an LA thing because LA networking is so fake.
I can't
I think
stand it. I hate
yeah.
it. It just, my body, again, like I trust my body, you know, like I think through martial arts, I learned to really like trust that inner voice or that feeling, you know. So if something doesn't feel right, I know it's going to take me down a path that's not going to be in integrity with who I am. So I try to just do everything with integrity. For me, it was just really about like valuing the relationships that I already had and was already making and focusing on those rather than trying to like go out and get more, you know. And as those relationships evolved, things just got bigger and bigger. And I think one thing that really changed, this is going to sound so weird, but like I met my husband right before everything started to pop off. And I think something about having that piece of my life just like settled, where I wasn't like going out like thinking about like, oh, meeting guys or, you know, wanting to get married or being lonely after like a long gig or something. It changed my mind frame. And I was able to start focusing more on even some of the marketing stuff, like, you know, buying a much better camera and getting like good photos to then promote on my Instagram of the already amazing gigs that I was getting. I, for a long time, didn't want to like play the game. So I was like, I don't want to do social media. I don't want to, show all this stuff off. And then finally, one day, I think it just dawned on me that I'm not playing the game. I'm trying to earn more of what I love. No one's just going to come asking me, like I do have to show it. And it's not like in a showy way. It's just in a prideful way, like I'm proud of what I'm doing. So I started like reframing my mind, how I was looking at like social media and my presence on social media. And I think once I finally like dialed that in and like got more confident with all of that, because another thing that's hard is like I'm a female, and I feel like I saw a lot of like the guys having like their like cliques, and like the girls, the realm of women is different, like everyone, it felt much more competitive because, I feel like society kind of puts women against each other, comparing us to each other all the time. So I was always comparing myself to other people, whether they were comparing themselves to me or not. I was doing that to myself. And, like I'm not a model. I'm just like this little video game nerd that loves music. So the whole like Instagram thing was kind of daunting for me. I didn't feel like I was like anything I was posting was anything that special. And then finally I was just like, no, like love what you do and love yourself and, take pride. Don't like compare yourself anymore to other people. Just if you love what you're doing, it's fine to like show people what you're doing. So I started doing that more. And I think that really gave me like that extra boost into like finally like getting to get on the radar.
Believing in your products, right? And really putting out if you trust your product, you believe in it, it makes it easier to sell. That was something we had on Jason Janai on the last episode. And he was talking about his big regret is just he wishes he would have done more content earlier on. And I think I can definitely attest to what you're saying, because I have in my head too of, I'm doing this. I don't like, flaunting or flat or just showing off at all. I want it to just come naturally, but ultimately no one knows what you're doing unless you let them know.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it feels nice to like look back at my feed and be like, oh my God, I did that, whether or not like anyone else is looking, like just for me to have like, it's like my memory book of like my accomplishments, which then gives me the confidence to know that like, I do have a place in all of this, and like, I should keep moving forward. I should never want to quit, So I don't know. I think I finally started realizing the power of social media, but I also dialed in how to do it in a way that was authentic to me and not trying to be like anybody else. And then when that clicked, it was just like a whole new world.
Well, I definitely think you're very unique. I mean, you bring so much to the table, so much different skills and just talent.
Thank you.
And you're a very talented DJ. So it's true.
Thank you. That like means the world. I'm going to like take a clip of that and listen to it every morning.
I don't know about all that, but you are a talented DJ. I mean, you have the knowledge, I think, a lot of really good talented DJs listen to all kinds of music and they grew up with this kind of stuff and they just breathe it. It's not anything they have to sit and overly practice, right? It's just part of your life. And you just spoke that. It's true. So things start popping off, things start going good. How much of this before 2020 hits that and are you doing just corporate gigs? Are you doing, I mean, your resume is bonkers. So are you just doing a lot of clubs? Are you doing a lot of corporates? Like
I
what?
do a lot of everything. I mean,
Yeah,
I,
just
I like
whatever.
diversity because it keeps it interesting. But I was getting to the point where I was starting to feel burned out around 2019. I was like, how long can I keep doing this? This is exhausting. I was doing like 30 various events a month. I mean, my calendar, I was like stacking on a Saturday. I'm sure you guys are no stranger to this, but like 3 gigs on a Saturday, running around town, like a full setup gig in the middle of those 3. Like it was just so much. And I was getting really, really tired. And I was like, well, if I were to quit, what would I do? This is, what I love. Honestly, this is going to sound so bad, but like, thank God for that break. Thank God for that.
It doesn't
pause
sound
button.
bad. We've been saying that. That's been the general thing that we keep saying is, it really let us slow down and learn what we need and what we don't need and things we want more of, the things that we miss and what it is. So don't feel bad for saying that. I get what you
I wish
mean,
it was
but
under better circumstances.
yes.
But I think we all needed to be sent to our rooms and think about what we were doing for a year.
Yeah.
So.
Totally agree. That comes along, and I think I definitely hit my wall in 2019, and I would probably have just continued doing the same hamster wheel, just going over and being depressed and being not happy.
I almost felt like I didn't have like a clear goal anymore. And I'm very goal oriented. Like I need to know what direction I'm heading in. And I felt like what you just said, hamster wheel. It was just like constant, just work, work, work. But like, where was this going to take me next? And there was no answer at that point.
The problem with a lot of the style gigs we do is you're booking these so far in advance and you're just saying yes because you don't want to miss out on it. And you don't want to miss out on that relationship that brought it to you. And then the next person's going to come on and steal your gig because you were too busy or you said no. So it is a catch-22 for sure. It's hard. You don't want to work that much, but at the same time, you're trying to just keep all these relationships going.
Yeah.
So you said you were doing like 30 gigs plus even a month pre the shutdown. How many are you doing? How many in real life gigs are you doing right now? And then how many weeks or days a week are you spending on Twitch?
I honestly don't even know. I would say I probably have like 3 to 4 IRLs every week. And then on Twitch, I usually live stream from a couple of my IRL gigs. And then I usually have like 1 or 2 streams from home.
Okay.
And then I also have clients that have me like do pre-recorded live stream sets for them, so like it's kind of like expanded what I'm able to offer my clients now also for the private client end of it. Like a lot of companies are doing virtuals because, COVID, they don't want to like expose anybody unnecessarily. So, having my studio set up and being able to like do a full record and like send it to them and like have a corporate gig where like I was DJing barefoot. They don't even know it. Like that, it's kind of the best. It's a win-win. And my rates definitely went up because it's like a supply and demand thing. There's like one of me and now like I have a lot more. I was really busy before, but I know that at any given time, like if I want to just stop, I still have like other things I could be doing. So now like I'm not willing to do in real life gigs for like less than what I know I'm worth at this point.
Right.
Totally. Guys always ask, and they listen to the podcast and they're always asking us questions. We always go back with that too. It's like not keeping all your eggs in one basket. You got to have options. And the more options you have, the more you can say no to things. And that's what creates that, that price lift in the supply and demand, just like you said.
Well, I'll be honest, like I've been spoiled because of Twitch because, I can DJ in athleisure barefoot and my bed is like, 20 feet from me. So like now I kind of think of it as like I have a pants fee. If I need to put on pants and leave my house, it's gonna cost extra.
Totally. One other question about Twitch: Are you? We know you're a gamer. Are you doing any streams on Twitch where you just play video games?
So now that we have our studio finally like completely set up, yes, I've done a couple, but at the beginning of Twitch, I had set up my DJ booth always used to be in my bedroom against the wall. And then when COVID hit, I moved everything forward so I could get behind the DJ booth, and then had to have a camera in my bedroom. How uncomfortable is that? So finally, after a year and a half of living like that, we got rid of our guest room, moved our bedroom upstairs, and made the downstairs bedroom a full-on live streaming suite. So I have my gaming room, my DJ streaming setup, like all of that, like in this like fat like little stream room now. So I'm finally ready to like start doing some gaming streams, and I've been holding off on playing Portal 2 so that I could share that journey with my Twitch fam. So that's definitely coming as soon as Super Bowl stuff is over. That's happening.
That's awesome. Were you the first to do the 24-hour stream on Twitch?
I was the first in the US.
Okay. That's what I thought. I knew it was
else
something.
that did it in Europe apparently right before I did, and I didn't know until like I was like, people were hitting me up. They're like, that's like the first we've ever seen, and then I had to like research it. But yeah, I was like the first in the US to do a nonstop DJ set on Twitch.
That's wild. What was the most challenging part of that?
You know, the standing. My legs, I couldn't walk for like 2 hours after I was done. I sat down and then I stood up to go get a snack, and I was like, oh no, I can't stand up again. That was the hardest part. But I think that. What I did that I think was pretty smart was I broke it down into genres. I was going to do like 4-hour genres. So every time I started a new 4-hour genre, it felt like I was starting a new stream.
Okay.
So it reset my mind like every 4 hours. Also, I didn't drink any caffeine. My husband was nice enough to bring me like dinner at one point while I was streaming. But I think that's like the not having caffeine, having those 4-hour chunks of like switching genres. That's and the Twitch chat. My God, those people, like without my Twitch fam and that support, I probably wouldn't have made it through. But you know, I had like, and this was early on in Twitch where there weren't a lot of viewers yet. You know, it was back in June of 2020. Not very many DJs were on Twitch. There wasn't really a big audience yet for DJs on Twitch. And I just remember like having like 150 to 200 viewers like the whole time for like 24 hours. So that like really like kept me going, that encouragement, which has now also like bled onto my like my social media, like the amount of support and encouragement they give me on like Instagram and on my Facebook and everything, and YouTube and all of that, like that has given me, you know, that burnout we were talking about.
Yeah,
that has resolved the burnout. Like the amount of support that I get now from these friends that I've made on Twitch has made me feel like I have a purpose. It's given me a lot of like direction and a lot of like extra energy.
It's funny. Him and I were never like, could never really get into the streaming, I think. But what we will say is we started this podcast, and I know for both of us, it's like restarted our love with DJing again, and having that outlet to talk with people, and you know, sharing just your experiences and the things that we've done. So I think we can agree with you that we've got like something out of this that, you know, has helped us as well, you know, just like that has for you.
DJing can be lonely.
It can.
And I think a lot of us, maybe that's why we're burning out, because we were lonely. And the cool thing about what you guys are doing and, you know, Twitch and everything is that instead of like fearing what are these other people doing that's better than me, or, you know, like feeling isolated in your little DJ, your bubble of yourself in this massive DJ industry, now feels like we all know each other, you know, and now we have a community of DJs that all like love and support each other and want to like cheer each other on. And having that sense of community within our culture, our DJ culture, I think is the big shift that we needed in order to make it less competitive and more collaborative. And that's what I'm starting to see come out of it. And again, I think Twitch, whether, you know, you like stayed on Twitch or branched out to do your own thing, I think that's the big mindset shift I've seen take place.
Totally. We know we're on limited time. I just want to prep you with a couple more things we want to do. We're going to ask you to do a 60-second rant where you can rant about anything you want for 60 seconds. It could be how.
Have one ready.
All right, perfect. All right, we're going to hit you with the 60-second rant video, and then I'll start the timer when the video is over, and you can rant about whatever you like.
Oh no.
Shout, let it all out.
Okay.
All right, here we go. 60 seconds on the clock. Here we go.
I'm going to do two 30-second rants. First of all, I don't understand why DJs that say they're my friends will go through my contact lists when I shout people out that have been nice enough to give me a gig, and they will go and then hit that contact of mine up that they know I'm working for and try to get my gig. I don't know why someone would do that. Like, that's just not nice. Don't do that. And also, don't ask me to raid you. Just don't do it. When I do a stream, I have like spent all this time, like doing my thing, and I like my raids to be a gift and a surprise. So when you ask me to raid you, it's like you don't even care that I'm streaming. You're just waiting for the end of my stream so you can get something from it. And I just absolutely hate that. So I guess in summation, if you're going to be in this industry, just think of it long term. Think about relationship building. Don't try to just get in and get what you want for yourself and get out. Build a community and support other people. If you want support from other people, give support to other people. Don't just like be all about yourself and try to just take it from
No,
people that are doing the work.
those are good things to rant about right there. So yes,
Yes.
everything
So good
she
to
just
get
said.
that off my chest.
Everything she just said. If you're doing that, stop. Just
Don't
stop
do
it.
that.
Yeah, totally.
Nobody likes that.
Nobody. You're just making
No.
enemies in the industry that could have been your friends. We want to be your friend.
I agree. I totally agree.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and ask you some technology, but first we're gonna play our video. So here we go.
Hey, yo, I need some new technology.
It's going to be stuck in my head for the rest of the day. Thank you. Oh my
So,
God.
yeah, anything new technology that you're liking or that you've recently made a purchase with, it could be anything from Twitch
Streaming
to DJing.
tech.
Yeah,
My
whatever.
whole life, I'm just buried under tech. I feel like my brain is like short circuiting because of the amount of like new tech I am dealing with like daily. Because I'm always looking to upgrade things. But for DJ gear, I can tell you my favorite stuff. I love
It
my
doesn't
phase.
have to be just DJ gear, but
Yeah, we'll get into the other stuff in a second.
Okay,
Phase,
okay.
I love my S11. Do you guys want a scoop? I'll give you
Yeah.
a scoop. I just got a big box in the mail for me to use at Super Bowl. I have the Rev 7, so I get to check that thing out this weekend, and I'm so
Wow.
excited.
That's awesome.
Wow.
I wish we could have talked
Congrats.
after so I could tell you all about it. I'm so stoked to use it. So excited.
Are you gonna break it out to practice or on your streams before?
Yes, I
Or you
am.
just-
You know
okay.
I am.
Nice.
That's
100%
awesome.
yes.
So dope.
That is happening for sure. So yeah, tune in on Twitch and check out the Rev 7 at Club Ninja. We just got a brand new lens I have a Sony A5100. Right now I'm using a GoPro Hero 4 for my gaming setup. I have the Hero 7 that I use for my mobile streaming setup. And then for my DJ setup, I have the Sony A5100 and just upgraded to the Sigma 16 millimeter lens, which has a much broader depth of field. So you get a crispier picture. So I just got that about a week and a half ago. Still trying to dial in the settings on that, but so far so good. That camera is amazing. I don't think they make it anymore, but the Sony A series, amazing.
That's what I'm on right now is the A6300.
Yeah, that's why you look so crystal clear.
Yeah.
So good. I got a bunch of new lighting. Just got the Govee glides. We're going to be putting that on the wall. I was using nano leaves before in the background of my setup, but now that we changed around the room a little bit, we're changing some of the lighting. So got the glides, and the Govee lighting products are just incredible, especially for the price points.
Yeah, I have a ton of their stuff. I like it too. It's very simple. I like the way the app updates. All that Govee stuff is awesome.
Yeah, you can see it in the background, my glide.
Yeah,
I got that's a Govee light here in the back in the corner.
There you go.
Now you can see the light back
it's
there.
so clean. So if you're looking to like add some sparkle to your streams, Govee has all kinds of options. I mean, I have all my dream gear here. I have my EVGA computer that I built with Arabian Prince on their Twitch stream. It's my
Wow.
RG Beast is what I call it. It's got a RTX 3070 GPU. I mean, it's a beast of a machine. I have my Acer monitor. I have an Acer laptop that I use for my live streams. I use the Concept D for my output broadcasting for my DJ live streams. When I do gaming streams, I broadcast with the EVGA computer because it takes more graphic power to run a game and to stream. So I have the desktop computer for that. I have my S11 that I am obsessed with, my Pioneer S11 mixer for DJing. Still got my Technique 1210 turntables. I just have so much tech. It's like insane. And then I'm also like producing. So just got this Akai MPK mini keyboard, which is great, especially for travel. It's so like portable if you want to like take it with you while you're on a gig and you still want to produce like while you're traveling. And then I have the Push also. So little all over the place with my gear, but that's what I got.
Before the pandemic, were you doing any kind of producing on your own?
I was. I've been messing around for a long time. Again, it's one of those things where I messed around, and it's just a matter of time before I start taking it seriously enough. I bought all this gear like back in 2010, and my DJ career just started like taking off, and then there was no time. And now I'm at a point where I can afford to like make time. So now I'm working a lot more on tracks. I have a couple things that they're like really rough, but a couple things I've been working on. I do edits and things. Those are really like, that's something I'm very well versed in, but like creating my own original music, that's something that like I'm still getting practice with. But I think I might just start playing some of the stuff I've made anyway, just so people can see the journey.
Yeah,
Totally.
And this is all Ableton?
Yeah, Ableton. I love Ableton. I used to use like Pro Tools and what were the other ones, like Cakewalk and all of that stuff. But now I'm on 100% on Ableton.
Awesome. So let's hit them with travel tips. We'll play or travel hacks. We'll play a little video, and then if you have any travel hacks you want to talk about, here we go.
Love it.
I wanna fly away.
Travel hacks.
So yeah, if you have any travel hacks you want to tell the listeners about, like we had Warren on and he was talking about a neck pillow. So it could be anything simple.
Oh, okay. One thing I got, because I'm a shouty, I'm 5'2", so I got one of those little, I don't know what to call it. It's like a feet hammock for the airplane.
What?
So you hang it on the back of your folding tray, and you close the tray, and this little foot hammock like hangs off of it. So you know how like it's really uncomfortable to sit on airplanes and your knees start to hurt? Put your feet in this foot hammock, and it just saves your knees. I love that. That's definitely a thing that I'm really happy that I bought.
Amazon search that and check it out.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. That's fascinating.
Yeah, I love that thing. Also, TSA pre-check.
We just talked about that.
Like,
yep.
I mean, is there a DJ out there that doesn't have it at this point? Because it's just a game changer. Walking through TSA and walking out the other side without having to do like the walk of shame where you have to put all your clothes back on. It's just life-changing.
Or take all your computers out or anything else.
Yeah. Oh,
I always hate, if you have like on my computer, I've got my logo still on it, and somebody's always like, well, what is that on your computer when you're like, and it's like, oh man, I don't want to talk to this random dude about what I got going on right now. Like,
well, imagine going through TSA and all your stuff says Ninja on it.
Oh my God.
Didn't even think about that. So yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
It's real nice to leave that stuff in the bag.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Anything else? Just those two?
Okay, yeah.
It's not a travel hack. It's just more something that I've become good at is like packing light for my gigs. I've learned that I definitely don't need as much stuff as I used to think I needed, so just the joy of traveling light and like, it's like the less I can carry onto the plane and run around with, the happier I am. And then also once I'm done with my gig, having like less stuff to put back in the bag, that like mental space that frees up it's just like clutch for me. But that's not really a travel hack. It's just
I think
my
it's
way of
good
things
advice.
then.
Travel hack. I think
Travel advice.
I think it's great because the less is more in that situation. Totally. And the less you can bring, the more comfortable you are, and like all those things. Like I completely agree with what you're saying there.
Well, also I was able to like I figured out like a perfect little mini live streaming situation so that when I travel, I can still like live stream either from like the hotel room or like a balcony. I was in Cabo and I was doing like balcony streams on the little like Hercules Starlight. It's that
Yeah.
little tiny controller.
Mhm.
It's the cutest thing, and it's so perfectly functional. Hook it up to the laptop, hook up the laptop to my my capture card into the GoPro with a little stand and a light. I have a microphone that connects via USB because the Starlight doesn't have a mic input, but I was able to like do it so I could do the USB mic into the computer, connect that to OBS so I can still use a mic with this like little tiny rig. GoPro is like what, that big? The Starlight's like that big. With just that, I can do a live stream from a balcony like across the world.
All right, one more question I got. Predict the score of the Super Bowl.
I'm going Rams 21, Bengals 7.
Oh. Oh man, 21-7. Oh,
I gave you a touchdown.
You must not know about Joe Burr. We'll see. We'll see when this comes out.
What's yours? What's yours, Fuse? What's
I
your
think it's
prediction?
going to be a high scoring game. I think it's going to be like both teams are going to score like 30-ish points, and I think the Bengals are going to come out on top over the Rams. I don't know, like 37. I don't know, 37, 32, 31, something like that. Something in there.
Are those
I just
numbers
think it's
even
going to be a
possible?
very tough fight. So I don't know if it will be a high scoring game. I feel like the defense is going to be pretty heavy. I don't know. I just don't know. That's why I kind of feel like it'll be a like moderately scoring game. I just feel like both teams are going to have really, really strong defense.
Yeah. Don't count them out. Did you guys see? Do you? The thing that killed me the most this week is there's I don't know if you're a big Sports Center fan, but I'm sure you know who Stephen A. Smith is. And he was like talking so much smack against the Bengals, and then one of the reporters was like, "I'm gonna stop you and replay it this week." And then he replayed what Stephen A. Smith said, which was the complete opposite of what happened in the games versus the Chiefs, and it was like the greatest moment ever for me.
Yeah, that's gotta feel pretty good. I had a really cool moment before we run. I was DJing at Hotel Irwin, and they were filming a Super Bowl commercial, and like I'm in the middle of my live stream on Twitch, and the internet starts going out, so like I lose like all my viewers, but they like luckily like 140 of them like came back, because right when they came back, Jimmy Johnson jumps on and takes over my turntables.
I saw that. I meant to ask about that.
And so how was it? Did he play? Was he mixing live on your Twitch stream?
Well, they were shooting a commercial, which actually aired during, I think it was what game was it? It might have been during the Bengals game, actually, earlier in the day, where he's sitting there with, at the Sports Center desk, right? And they're all talking, and like it aired right before it. No, you know what? It was after the Rams one.
There we go.
Yeah, it was right after. Yeah, it was after the Rams won, and they knew they were going to the Super Bowl. They showed this whole clip about LA, and they were all at Hotel Irwin, like the view of the beach. And then he's like on there, and he's not really DJing. I had to show him just like, oh, move this platter back and forth because I'm running a song on the other platter. So if you move this, nothing will happen. So he's just standing there like going like this, and the whole camera crew comes up, and my arm made the cut. My arm is in that commercial that aired after the Rams game. So I am famous, guys. Like,
obviously, yeah. World
famous.
Awesome.
Like,
I'll be looking for your arm during the commercials. You're like, I see that arm right there. I know her. I know that arm.
My scratching arm.
Your wiki arm.
My wiki arm.
No, that's cool. And that's at one of your like residency spots too, right? You play there quite a bit. That's
Hotel
awesome.
Irwin, Venice Beach on the roof. It's like my favorite place. I've seen more sunsets this last like year than I have in my whole life, because it's the only open air rooftop in like all of like the whole like Santa Monica to Venice. It's the only open air rooftop. So like you just have this unobstructed view of the ocean and the sunsets. I mean, fresh air, music, sunsets. It's just amazing.
I've never been there. I'm going to come hang out. One of these upcoming times I have some time off, I'm going to come hang out.
I would love that.
That'll be fun.
Yes.
do we have anything? I'm sorry I cut out. I'm pissed off because I had other questions and my internet sucks here at my
We'll
house.
have to do
but
this again sometime then.
yes, we would
Part
love
two.
that.
Totally. I don't know if we have anything else for today. Oh, I got one final thing. This is, and then we can wrap after this. If you had a piece of advice for that you would tell young Miss Ninja, knowing what you know now, going back in time, what's a piece of advice you'd give you?
It's cliche. I would tell her to believe in herself more and don't compare herself to other people. You know, just like stay the course, trust that inner voice, always keep doing things with integrity, and eventually it will pay off.
I think that's a
Yeah.
good piece of advice.
It's great advice.
All right.
Hit them with any of your socials or where they can find you or when you're streaming or anything.
Yes. Well, if this wasn't enough information or you want to see my behind the scenes shenanigans, I am all over the socials at DJ Miss Ninja. So Twitch at DJ Miss Ninja, YouTube at DJ Miss Ninja, Instagram at DJ Miss Ninja, Twitter at DJ Miss Ninja. Is this or I think everyone's getting the point here, right? What else? My website is djmissninja.com. So yeah, basically just any platform you're on, just type in DJ Miss Ninja and you'll probably land on me. And then if you're ever in Los Angeles, I spin at Hotel Irwin all the time. I'm at Mama Lion all the time. If you're going to be at the Super Bowl, I'm saying to your girl,
There you go.
you should have come.
Yeah. If you're coming to the Super Bowl and you know me, hit her with a hooday when you walk past her.
Now,
Yeah,
that's
definitely
super
don't do
rad.
Uh,
We're stoked for you. That's huge. That's awesome.
yes,
Thank you.
congratulations on playing another Super Bowl. That's awesome.
I'm so excited.
Just thank you for taking the time to be with us here today. We really appreciate that. Thank you to the
Yes.
listeners, and make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're
Yes, follow
listening on-
these guys.
There you go. Follow Miss Ninja
Subscribe.
and check her out. If you don't know of her already, you're missing out.
You're missing out. Watch her Twitch
is so
streams.
fun.
She's always killing it on Twitch, dude. So
If you like
jump on
bananas,
there.
it's always bananas on my screen.
That's right.
That's right.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap for today. So we'll see you next time.
Peace.